Buckingham Palace has made a stunning announcement. In an unprecedented move, King Charles has terminated Prince Andrew's annual allowance of £1 million, a decision that marks a decisive turning point in one of the royal family's most contentious internal disputes. The catalyst? A defiant statement from Andrew regarding his future at Royal Lodge that finally exhausted the king's patience. Stay with Royals explored to discover how this financial maneuver is reshaping the royal landscape. Facing intensifying pressure, King Charles implemented extraordinary measures last week to address what palace insiders have dubbed the Andrew situation. According to royal sources, during a brief 10-minute telephone conversation on Friday, the monarch delivered an unambiguous message to his younger brother. Voluntarily relinquish your titles, or they will be formally stripped away. The ultimatum proved effective. Andrew issued a statement, somewhat defiant in tone, declaring that he had chosen, as always, to prioritize duty to family and nation. He confirmed he would discontinue use of his title and associated honors. The consequences are significant. Andrew has surrendered the Duke of York title, his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson has lost her Duchess status, and he's relinquished membership in the Order of the Garter, Britain's most prestigious order of chivalry. But what truly precipitated Charles's decisive intervention? According to royal biographer Robert Hardman in his updated work, Charles III, New King, New Court, The Inside Story, the king's tolerance reached its limit last summer. That's when Andrew informed Charles that despite any ultimatums, he intended to remain at Royal Lodge indefinitely. This act of defiance became the breaking point. Shortly thereafter, the keeper of the privy purse, essentially the monarchy's chief financial officer, received instructions to terminate Andrew's living allowance. A palace source confirmed. Prince Andrew is no longer a financial burden on the king. Previously, Charles had been funding Andrew's lifestyle from his private Duchy of Lancaster income, providing an estimated £1 million annually, just as their late mother had done, while also covering his security expenses. Given the continuing allegations surrounding Andrew's association with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, many believed Charles's intervention was inevitable. While Andrew categorically denies allegations from Virginia Giuffre regarding sexual encounters facilitated by Epstein's trafficking network, the shadow of scandal persists. The situation becomes even more fascinating when examining how Andrew has managed to occupy Royal Lodge for so long. Subscribe to Royals Explored and enable notifications. The financial arrangements behind this royal standoff are truly remarkable. Recent revelations show that the disgraced prince has paid virtually no rent on Royal Lodge for over 20 years. This explains how he and Sarah Ferguson have maintained residence in the sprawling 30-room mansion despite divorcing in 1996. They occupy separate wings of the estate, though mounting calls for the scandal-plagued former couple to vacate have reached unprecedented levels. Documents obtained by The Times reveal Andrew paid £1 million for the lease initially, plus at least £7.5 million toward extensive renovations completed in 2005. His 75-year lease on the property extends until 2078, creating a complex financial situation. The lease contains intriguing provisions. The Crown Estate would owe Andrew approximately £558,000 if he surrendered the lease early, plus compensatory annual payments of £185,865 until 2028, marking the 25-year milestone of the agreement. This explains Andrew's stubborn resistance. Departing would cost the Crown Estate substantially, while remaining costs him almost nothing in rent. Meanwhile, sources close to recent negotiations between the brothers indicate that Andrew claims to have secured alternative income sources through his connections in international trade. This assertion raises troubling questions. Which international contacts specifically? What type of trade? And are these income streams appropriate for someone forced to withdraw from royal duties amid scandal? Questions about Andrew's financial sustainability at Royal Lodge have persisted, particularly following the loss of his £1 million allowance. The leasehold agreement, obtained by the Associated Press amid demands for transparency, reveals Andrew paid minimal rent while enjoying one of the royal portfolio's most prestigious properties. This arrangement allowed him to avoid the £260,000 annual market rent others would pay, essentially living rent-free for 22 years as the property's value soared. King Charles's strategy appears clear. Apply financial pressure to resolve a problem that cannot be addressed through royal authority alone. Without his annual allowance, Andrew must now personally cover Royal Lodge's £250,000 yearly operating costs, plus maintain the property to rigorous lease standards, or face eviction. The king cannot forcibly remove his brother, but he can make continued residence financially untenable. Critical questions remain. Will Andrew finally vacate Royal Lodge now that his financial support has been eliminated? What is the true source of his mysterious international income? And how long can he maintain a 30-room estate without royal backing? Share your perspective in the comments. For every update on this unfolding royal saga and essential palace news, subscribe to Royals Explored and activate notifications. The confrontation between Charles and Andrew is approaching its conclusion, and the next development could ultimately force Andrew's departure.